You're listening to Behind the Wheel on RacingJunk.com. You've read the stories of the drivers and others involved in the sport that we all love. Now hear their stories firsthand via our all-new podcast to find out how their passion for motorsports has made life worth living.
You know, I was having a good day.
Until I got here in my Patriots sweatshirt.
You show up in this Patriots football hoodie. Don't you pull out no Patriots?
T-shirt on.
Is that a Super Bowl shirt?
That is a Super Bowl shirt. Yes. I had to wear this especially for
Welcome back. Master of transition here to Behind the Wheel on RacingJunk.com. I am Chris Tater Young. That is Ellen Lil E. Richardson with her Patriots jersey. If you don't know, I'm a huge Chicago Bears fan. Recently, the Chicago Bears hosted the New England Patriots, and we were beaten well within our trip to the woodshed, as well they should have been. Yes, this is a racing show, but Ellen and I have this football history.
Yes, we do.
And,
I know it was a difficult game, but hey, I can honestly say I drew up right there at the end with that last.
I bet you were puckering a little bit. I bet it was some puckering.
God, please don't catch them all.
Let me tell you what. I bet it was Pit Row in Martinsville type of puckering right there.
It was.
Because I got excited for about 45 seconds for that game. But when I knew going in Chicago was going to lose, I thought, oh God, I got to record a podcast with her.
I thought the same thing during this game. I'm like, we cannot lose this game because if I go to this podcast next week and we lost this game, he'll never let me hear
So, and look, I'm wearing a T-shirt. What does my T-shirt say?
It says bigger than yours and it's squirrel holding nuts. I love it. It's funny.
And what is she wearing? Not only is she wearing the Patriots hoodie, sweatshirt.
I'm wearing my Super Bowl T-shirt.
She's wearing a freaking Super Bowl T-shirt. She doubled up on me.
I did. You know what I'm going to get next? I'm going to get Rob Gronkowski socks. Yes, I am.
God. Will it have his goofy face on them?
Yes, it will.
This is a Tide Pod. My gosh.
He could come do my laundry anytime he wants.
I bet he could. You know what? I would not be surprised if he tried to. He's probably one of those guys that survived the Tide Pod Challenge.
He probably did.
That boy is Dane Bramage beyond belief. And his name is his nickname is what?
Gronk.
And what else? The Hulk.
The Hulk.
The Hulk. And Tom Brady's nickname is what?
The Goat.
God. I was thinking more like Nancy.
Whatever.
But you know what? We have some great nicknames that have popped up here on the last. We had Sherry Solis last time. Fuzzy. Want to give a big shout out to Fuzzy and her husband.
Fuzzy.
And her husband Jim Jones. I mean, I just want to shake his hand.
I know, right? I want to give him a high five.
We got great nicknames. Yeah, no, what's up, mother? Beep. I'm just so proud of her.
Yes.
And we're continuing the trend, not only with great nicknames. We got the Queen of Speed we're going to be talking to tonight.
That's right.
Tell me about that.
Another nickname. Yeah, if you've been a fan of Behind the Wheel for the last 5 years, maybe 3 years, I can't remember how long I've been writing it. I apologize. Actually, about 3 years.
You're 26. How can
I'm not 26.
How can you not remember these things?
Yeah, I'm just going to be honest. I'm 40. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Women don't forget crap. And she's talking about, I can't remember it. Lies.
Whatever. But if you have been a fan of Behind the Wheel for the last few years, about 3 years ago, I had an opportunity to interview an incredible land speed racer named Valerie Thompson. And I'm so excited because she's actually going to be joining us tonight right here on this podcast. Valerie has a great story. She's an incredible inspiration to all those females that are trying to come up in this sport. Not only the females, but young people that are trying to come up in this sport. I mean, she didn't even get started at a young age. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. She has been somebody who just blew my doors off the first time I talked to her. So I, of course, had to bring her back on the podcast. I am so excited.
I mean, another femme fatale.
That's right, baby.
Of the two.
You know I love some femme fatales.
I like them fast women. Ellen.
Yes, you do.
Well, not that type of fast.
Don't ask her to marry you, okay?
I mean, she's already married, right?
That's true. That's what I'm saying. You still don't ask her.
Well, I almost asked old Fuzzy to marry me.
I know you did.
Until I found out her husband was Jim Jones. You don't mess with no man named Jim Jones. Because that's just, and then tonight, Valerie, who was recently inducted into the Sturgis
Hall of Fame. Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Yes, she was. And that just blew my doors off. When I found that out, I said, okay, it's time to bring her on the podcast. It is time.
Where do you find these people? You do such a great job of finding these superstars. Man.
Hey, they all love me. What can I say? No, I'm just joking.
You know what? You're right. They want to be on Behind the Wheel on RacingJunk.com. And, once again, tip of the hat to Sherry Solis for joining us last time. We're excited about talking to Valerie. We got all these speed demon females joining the show. I kind of feel like I'm ganged up on a little bit.
I have kind of been ganging up on you. Like, it's time to bring another male on the show. I guess I'll have to try that next.
I'm not saying I feel insecure.
We're making Chris just a little insecure.
But, Fuzzy did help us come up with a nickname for you, Lily.
That's right.
Lily, speaking of, how do you like Lily? Is it sticking?
I haven't decided if I like it yet or not, but I'm trying to make it work.
Lily, so whenever you see Ellen.
It's better than a lot of my old nicknames.
Wait a minute, what's your Instagram?
I can't even remember Instagram. I think it's Eleanor.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Ellen R. Go follow her and just be like, keep Lily. Because if you were to see Ellen, first off, you'd have to look down. She's 4'7".
I am not that short.
84 pounds, soaking wet in the Patriots sweatshirt. And Lily needs a stick. I'm thinking Lily is going to be it. You know what? We'll ask Valerie.
That's right.
We'll ask Valerie. So we're going to take a quick break. We got a great interview with Valerie Thompson, Queen of Speed, eight-time land speed record holder.
That's right.
Coming up next, right here on Behind the Wheel.
Attention racers, race fans, and gearheads. If you're looking to buy, sell, or trade the stuff that stokes your engine, then check out RacingJunk.com. RacingJunk.com is the world's #1 online racing and performance classifieds, where you'll find what you need to rock your ride. Check us out at RacingJunk.com. Racing and performance classifieds built to go fast.
Welcome back to Behind the Wheel on RacingJunk.com, and we are honored to have America's Queen of Speed, eight-time,
just recently
land speed record holder, Valerie Thompson, returning friend
of
Behind the Wheel. But she was BC, it was before Chris.
That's right.
So,
well, it's when we were just doing feature stories and didn't have any podcasts. So
right.
Now that we have a podcast, I had to bring her back.
Right,
Valerie.
Valerie.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, Valerie, welcome to the show. How's everything out in Arizona?
Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. Thank you for asking. We left the 117-degree weather, and now we're catching it down in the 80s, which is actually, when it gets to the 70s, it gets quite cold.
You know what? Hang on. Before we go any further. All right, so Lil E is sitting here in a Patriots hoodie and
That's killing
jeans
him.
because it was like 35 degrees this morning here where we are.
I don't mind that. It's okay. I was ready for fall.
You're telling me
too long.
But she's sitting there in 80-degree weather?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sorry.
100-some degrees in Arizona all summer long.
Can you send some of it this way? Granted, we had 9 months of summer.
I'm done with summer.
Okay.
No, don't send it this way. I'm done with summer. We need fall. Y'all just let it be fall. Get summer
Yes.
way too long.
Well, what is fall in Arizona, Valerie? Like,
I just
70
want it to.
Days?
I just want it to be race season. So hello.
Yeah,
That's
she
all I
just
want.
she wants us to stay warm so she can keep racing.
Speaking
That's right.
of, Valerie, I know you've been with us before, but tell me, where did your passion for racing come from? How did you get started?
I ended up racing on the Scottsdale Road right behind me where I live. And I was told by a good friend, Nick, he said I was out of control and I needed to take it to the racetrack. And I felt about, an inch and a half tall. I was like, okay, well, here I am keeping up with all the guys. I thought that's what guys wanted me to do, is keep up, because they always wanted to stuff me in the back, and like push me back there. Like, didn't think I could be a girl as a rider and a great rider to boot. But that's how it all started. And when I took it to the racetrack, I haven't left, and here I am.
So you did this to show up some boys?
Well, I didn't do it to race. I did it because, I've always had that fast DNA in me, and I got it from my mother. And I've always wanted to be I've always wanted to compete with all those big fancy bikes that are floating around the Scottsdale, Arizona area. And I always wanted to keep up with them because girls like to keep up with boys too, or men.
We do. Yes, we
And
do.
it's a great opportunity because I have my own wings and I can flex my own muscles with 2 wheels on my own bike, and there's nobody going to stop me.
And
That's
you do
right.
it pretty darn good.
Yes, she does.
Well, I do it good
she didn't
now
get
because I had
started
some
till she turned
training.
30.
Wait a minute.
I do it good now because I have some training behind me, and I have some good coaches that has coached me along the way. So yes, it takes a big team to get this fast.
Well, I mean, tell me about some of the coaches.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a couple of inspirational coaches, and one of them is George and Jackie Bryce. When I first started, really learning how to drag race, and I really thought that I was going to be, really, really good in drag racing because I was pretty okay. In my second year of drag racing, I came third in the nation out of 40 people, 40 racers, and men and women racers, and I thought that was pretty incredible. And then I was like, well, I just want to go faster, but not even thinking about land speed racing. I just wanted a more powerful machine, and I felt it was time for me to graduate. Well, lo and behold, I get a very powerful bike. I have to go to drag racing school, and that's when I attended the George Bryce Star Racing drag racing school in Florida, and that pretty much set me back in my seat a few times, let me tell you. Incredible coach, incredible inspirational person. And with my land speed racing, Dennis Manning has been, which he is the creator and the designer, one of a few that has created the number 7 motorcycle streamliner that I race with currently. And I actually called him because I was just about ready to get on stage and talk about who Valerie is, with hundreds of people. And I was a bit nervous, and he coaches me and he helps me not only on my racing, but he helps me, encourage me, and he tells me how special I am before I go on stage.
Now, how important?
It takes a very special person to go especially fast. Like this is 300-ish, 400. We're trying to go for 400 miles per hour. But, hey, if we can beat the record, that's first and foremost. We don't care about anything else. We just want to break the record.
Now, how
We're
important?
Not going to be too greedy.
Well, I mean, you could be, but once again, how important is that positive motivation? Because a lot of people that I've run into, especially on the land speed, they're the best. They know they're the best. They don't need anybody there to help them, remind them of how good they are, remind them of how strong they are. But in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, you really do need that.
No, absolutely. You need good people, and you need that's why they call it team. Together, everyone accomplishes more, because there's no way that one racer can do this by themselves. Like we have a crew of 16 to 18 people. There is no holding back. We need each and every person to make this be who we are. We are real winners, and everybody else that is competing for this record is the real winners. Like we are winners, and no matter what we do, we will still shine and win, and we will do our best.
Speaking of doing your best, I mentioned at the beginning of the interview, 8 times.
That's a very happy note.
Yeah. Tell us about that last one, the last record that you just broke.
Yes, the last record we just broke was at the Dry Lakes Racer Association in Australia. We took our whole entire crew and we went all to Australia. First and foremost, we packed that container with our trailer into the container to go to Australia months before we even got there. So
did you pack a bunch of snake venom and stuff? Because 9 of the 10 deadliest things that can kill you is in Australia. Did everybody make it back?
Oh, everybody made it fine. Everybody make it back. You know,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. By the
good
grace
grief.
of God, we all made it back, and we were all protected.
That's right.
Did you see any Mambas or 10 Pacers or anything like that down there? Because, well, okay, I understand breaking a land speed record and maybe surfing, but there is no reason for a sane individual to want to go to Australia.
I want to go to Australia. It looks beautiful.
Everything there can kill you.
Everything in Mexico can kill you. I can't.
The ice can kill you in Mexico, but I
What
mean,
ice? There is no ice in Mexico. Oh, well, yeah,
Montezuma's
it's glass.
revenge.
That's
What you
true.
talking about?
It's
So,
nice.
Valerie,
It's not cold there.
so everybody was fine. Y'all didn't get attacked by any wall clock spiders or 10 spacers or anything, right?
Nope, we sure didn't. But Valerie didn't have a curling iron that whole week.
Uh-oh.
How'd you do it, girl?
You got to help me on it. It don't matter.
I put my hair up in a bun and I concentrated on what I had to do. I concentrated on the adventure side. And I said, in order to take chances, I better live my dream. And who cares what I look like when I got my helmet behind the scene?
That's right.
I'm just saying, if I don't have my curling iron, I don't go.
Well,
Yeah,
not
like
to
Chris
mention I
has any
broke
hair.
it. I broke it because I plugged it in to the wall and it was, USA plug and guess what happened?
Oh, that-
Disconnection.
Yeah,
burnt,
that's 220
done.
to 110.
That's why everybody that comes out of Australia has straight hair.
Oh, is that it?
That's what
I
it
just
is.
thought because they were always running from everything that could kill you.
Well, there
kangaroos
are
can't
a
kill
few
you, right?
things. There are a few things like when they say you're going to Australia to go to the dry lakes bed. I will tell you when they said you're going to the outback and you will not have internet, you can go and drive 14 miles this way, but that 14 miles will literally take you a good 45 minutes because you have to go super slow during this one lane road and it's
Oh, yeah.
very bumpy and. Well, okay, so
Is
I
that a-
had some things that I had to worry about while I was racing, and my mom, she was just recently diagnosed with cancer, so I was trying to keep in touch with my sister to find out how my mom was. So that was a heavy burden, and so I was searching for internet, but we even prepared to have extra internet, and that kind of helped, but it didn't. So when you say you're going into the outback in Australia, trust me, you are in the outback and there is no turning back.
Wow.
Wow. And you went down there with one mission and one mission only, to break that record again.
Well, we were there to break the 376 mile per hour record. Absolutely. We were there. We had our guns loaded and it was perfect. It had the perfect weathers, the perfect salt. We got caught up in a little bit of wind, and that's not good for us because we don't race in wind more than 3 miles per hour at any directions. So we have to sit it out. I mean, there's times you bring your patience when you go racing, no matter where you go. If you're on a drag strip, you're racing at the NHRA level, or you're racing at the Bonneville Salt Flats in Australia, in Bolivia, or in Utah at the Bonneville
Uh-huh.
here in our local town. But, it's bring your patience because you need it.
So let me get this straight. 376 miles per hour on a bike.
Yeah, but you
That
went
is-
over that, correct? Didn't you go over that?
No, that is the record is held by Rocky Robinson, and he has the record of 376 miles per hour. We are going for that record.
Okay.
We set a record of 328 miles per hour through
Okay.
the DLRA event.
Okay.
And then we went into the FIM AMA event like many days later. And as I was going the 363 miles per hour, I crashed.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
And that's when everything kind of, like you said, oh, did the snake bite you? No, I got bit by the salt that day.
Oh my gosh. Were you hurt at all?
I have some things I'm working on as we speak, and I have I had some cuts, some bruises. I had a mild concussion, and so I have some other little things that kind of came up that I just kind of found that I had some symptoms of. So I'm kind of trying to explore how I need to go about the rest of my journey.
Would this
Okay.
be like concussion type symptoms?
It would be like more like is it PSTD?
Oh,
PTSD.
PTSD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
PTSD.
I'm sorry, PS. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Post traumatic
So-
stress.
Yeah.
yes.
You know,
So
and I was going to ask that. I mean, you're going 300 plus miles an hour. Granted, it's only a millisecond, but
Yeah.
at the same time, what is going through your head when you're going that fast? And tell me about when you lost control and had this horrible accident.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the biggest thing is that you're going on an adventure. You're willing to take your life to live your dream, and you know you don't think about nothing but doing your job. Like, I'm there to keep that motorbike straight. I'm there if any gust of wind, I'm there to make up for it. I am there to hit my first gear, hit my second gear, my third gear, and I only have 4 gears. I'm there to hit all of them and pull those parachutes and stop safe. In the meantime, I'm there to break a darn record.
Yeah. Hey, amen.
So when did
I don't have anything on my mind but to do my job and to do it really good. And I'm not thinking about living my dream. I'm just thinking like, okay, this is what I have to do in order to get that dream come true.
You know
At
what?
least
And
it's
I just got to say, and I think I said this to the last person we interviewed, Valerie, was Sherry Solis, who also is a land speed. Um, you are so much more of a man than I am, and I hope you take that as a compliment because that's how it's meant. Do you know the
It doesn't
noises
sound
I
good when
would
he
be
says that.
making if I was doing this?
Oh Lord, he'd be screaming like a little girl.
I mean,
Oh,
you
let me
hear
tell
it.
you, I scream like a man before I go into that. Like, I am there clapping my hands. I am there woot-wooting myself. I am there to energize myself
All right.
completely. They asked me, Valerie, how you doing? I said, woo! And I clapped my
She's the Ric
hands.
Flair of land speed racing.
That's
I
right.
love it.
I mean, she's only done it 8 times. I mean,
exactly.
Ric Flair only won the title like 5 times. So I mean,
Exactly.
come on.
That's right. That's why
It- It
Go
turns
ahead.
me into a tiger. It gives me that confidence. And,
Tiger
I
blood.
have to be consistent on what I do. And it's like, man, I just have to do it. I got to do it for the team first and foremost. And then it comes me. Then I can say, I did it. And, it takes, I did it, but I did it with my team.
Right.
And you can't replace I have never worked with such a great, wonderful team as what I worked with going into this land speed racing for Dennis Manning, John Jans, and Joe Harrelson. They have worked their butt off. And now, you know what? Now we have a super crash motorbike that is not repairable. And
Uh-oh.
Wow.
they are working their butts off to get us to get to get to train or to get to test in August of 2019. So this is how we're going. We're gonna get this motorbike ready. We're gonna find some gosh darn sponsors, and we're gonna promote them like crazy. And we're going to go big with this one. Like, we are ready. Like, Dennis is ready. I'm ready. The team is ready. And then we're gonna do a test at Bonneville here in the United States. But then we're going to pack up our stuff, get this motorbike ready, and we're going to go back to Australia in March of 2020. That sounds so weird to say.
It
Right.
does, doesn't it?
And we're
I think
going
I'm
to
gonna be really old.
We're
mean,
going to
that's-
repeat. The only thing I am just hoping and praying that it doesn't happen again with a throttle upside
won't.
down.
It won't.
I was going to say, Valerie, tell us about this bike that you guys put together. I'm hearing about this thing, and it has to be amazing. Tell me,
Oh gosh, the
concept,
motorbike
how did
is
it come
amazing.
about? Tell me about it.
They've been working on it for a really long time. I'm not the first rider that has rode this motorbike. And I mean, they have had some really popular people ride for him, Dennis and the team. Chris Carr is one, and they've actually held the record twice now. They went 350 miles and some change, and they went 362 miles per hour, and they set a record. And then in 2010 is when Rocky took the record. So, and that's the record I'm trying to break. So Dennis wants the record back. He is like so gung-ho on getting this record back, and so is the team. That, hey, a little setback in our paperwork and our financial situation, it's not gonna happen. It's we're still going. We're going for it.
Lily just brought up a great point. That's as fast as a funny car goes.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the track, but yeah, that's a common speed that you hear for a funny car.
I mean, and they have frames around them. They have, all this protection.
Frames, but yeah.
Still, she's
Hey,
on
the best
bike.
protection. The best protection any woman can have is courage.
I love it.
I was gonna say a good
Look at that.
man,
That's
but
why they call her. They gave her a nickname. Valerie, what is your nickname?
Well, they call me America's Queen of Speed,
There you
and
go.
that
Yes,
was
ma'am.
only from my BMW days, because I was going to Germany to do some appearances, and they said the Queen of Speed is coming to Germany.
Wow.
So I did that for quite a few years. So
Did they get you a crown and everything?
yeah, I
Did
was
you
gonna
get a
say,
crown?
did you get some jewels? Did you get a scepter and a knight?
No, I didn't. But
No, she
Yeah,
gave you that.
I would protest. If you're gonna call me the queen or king or something, I'm coming in on horseback. I'm gonna have a regal accoutrement. I don't even know if that's the right word. There's gonna be stuff that people know I'm royal. You are royalty, should be treated as such, madam.
Well, they
That's
did
right.
a really fine job at bringing me there, so I cannot complain.
Did you at least get free Starbucks or something? I mean,
Well, I got a lot of food there.
okay,
Yeah, that's
yes,
true.
and that is good stuff over there. That's
Yeah.
that real stuff
That's
over there.
primo
Yeah.
Ritz. Yeah, that's your ritzy food over there. She got the ritzy food. There
I
you
mean,
go.
that's good because we've been hung up on nicknames now for the past few shows.
Just since the last show, they've just been wanting to give me a nickname. That's all.
Well, I mean, most of the nicknames I think of for Ellen, I can't really repeat. But
yeah, yeah,
I've had nicknames my entire life.
exactly.
Most recent one is Tater, and for
That one
Ellen,
sticks with you.
we just decided to call Ellen Lily.
How cute.
Right? See, thank you.
Yeah.
Makes me sound like
Love
I'm
it.
tiny.
You are tiny. You are 4 foot nothing and weigh
I'm not-
77 pounds.
No, I wish.
Let me tell you what. When she turns sideways, she disappears. Valerie.
Whatever.
It's
So not
pretty
true.
funny.
So not
Hey,
true.
when
Oh,
I
that's
turn
not true.
sideways, I go right up in the air.
So, all right. So ever since earning this nickname, do
Got all
you?
these records.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like that's what kind of helped catapult you to get the records, or do you think it was coincidental?
No, it's not. It's a nice way for a European country to welcome an American to
That's
come
cool.
into their territory and be super fast. And
Increased everything.
it just was a fun thing. Actually, I just took it and I ran with it, and
I would
I
too.
liked
Yeah.
it. But then, I figured it's like, okay, I don't want to be America's Queen of Speed or Queen of Speed. I want to be the world's fastest motorcycle, period. And
Yeah.
my bike don't know if it's a man or a woman. I just want to be the fastest person, period. And, I'm working on it. So give me a little time and let's talk next year. And then the
I
year
love it.
after.
You will.
I love it. I
You
love
will
it.
be. You're coming to it. I mean, and
She's being
remind
modest.
Me, no, remind me, Valerie, when we did the story 3 years ago, your feature story said we mentioned that you started racing when you were in your 30s. Is that still correct?
Yeah, I was late in my 30s. And you know what?
Who
Really?
starts that late and it gets as fast as she does? Because now everybody's starting at what, 12?
12, yeah, 9.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Wait a minute. So you started in your 30s.
Yeah.
Yes,
And-
late in
and
my
then
30s.
Just 3 years ago, what was the last time you spoke to us? You got
Yes,
the
3 years ago.
Queen. All right, Valerie, look, you've been modest up until this point. I
Yeah,
want you
she's
to
just being
brag.
very humble.
Come on, girl. The last 3 years, you've broken some great records.
Yeah.
Brag
I
a little
have.
bit. Tell us about
You
it.
know,
Come
I
on.
bet-
Come on,
I-
Queen.
Okay, here comes out the queenness.
I'm going to call you
Oh, here she
Beyonce.
comes,
Yes.
here she comes.
Put your crown on and walk your walk,
Sing
girl.
for it.
You guys are horrible.
I know we are.
We can't help it. I mean,
We are horrible.
we
I'm
are.
sorry.
No, I'm really kidding. You're actually really great. Okay, so,
She's lying.
yes, I have broken several records. And, for me, a record is a sacred. Like, I don't want to be a 50-time land speed record holder. I don't want to be 28-time or 15. I just want to have the lowest number with the best results of the best records that I can ever break. We will never forget your first record. You will never forget your last record. And we have one more to go, because when I retire, I'm going to retire. And I told my husband I'm going to retire at 400 miles per hour. Even though I told him I'll retire at 200, and then I said, okay, well, let me retire at 300. Now let me retire at 400. So I'm gonna do that, and I promised him I will retire. But
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I was
Come
gonna
on.
say.
Come
those
on.
records are so, like you'll never forget them. Like Keith Ball from bikernet.com gave me the opportunity to raise two of his panheads, and we set records on those panheads, and they were fun bikes to ride. And when I went from being a Harley Davidson rider to a sport bike rider, like, I knew nothing about sport bikes, nothing. I just knew that you don't want to tap those brakes too quickly, because you will go
Oh,
over
come on.
your handlebars. So I had to learn. And a gentleman here locally, Kerry Alter, he owned a BMW, and he says, "You want to race my BMW?" Ha! I don't know anything about a BMW. I don't know anything about sport bikes, but okay, let's go and ride your bike. So I rode it. It was successful. And, we went 201 miles per hour without even really like trying. We were just, testing out, and he changed the fuel up, and we went and we did it. And it was like, he said 201, and then I almost had to go and pee my pants.
Valerie, tell me a little bit about that, because I hear talk about, the different types and makes and models of bikes, but there's been multiple occurrences.
Yeah.
Records have been broken on BMWs.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite? If so, what is it? And how is the BMW different?
Well, the BMW is the real winner, besides my custom Streamliner. I mean, you can't get no better. If anybody had a chance to ride in the Streamliner, I bet you 100%. Okay, well, 90%, because, well, we're all of us racers, we're pretty crazy anyway. So
That's
okay,
right. You
the
can't make
real
everybody
winner
happy, Val.
is
That's
the
right.
Streamliner. The real winner is the Streamliner. But my go-to and my favorite bike is my BMW S1000RR. I mean, I just love to ride it. It's so smooth. You have to, like when I started breaking records, I broke production records, like at the Texas Mile, Ohio Mile, like in all these 1 mile courses. And I went 217 miles per hour at the Texas Mile, and it was like, that gave me the taste of, that's okay, OMG. That's perfect.
You
Okay, I
think?
don't want to go any faster, but I get
But
home
then you
and
went
I'm like, I
faster.
want to go faster.
She sounds like me every time I get in the car. I want to go fast. I want to go fast.
See, but and I would love to. My vehicle that I drive, I can't even get that thing up over 80 hardly. To get it even to 100 miles an hour, it'd have to be pushed out the back of an airplane. I can't even imagine what going 250 miles an hour is like.
Fastest I've ever gone was 158 in the Indy car, so I couldn't tell you.
You got this wonderful racer. Her name is Erin Hunter. Erin Hunter Steel. And she went to Bolivia, and she went 230 something, 240 something miles per hour on a BMW that's a very well stocked up, like put together engine. But she's on a sit-on bike. I'm in a closed bike, but she's a great rider. She did really well. She waited out, and she brought her patience, and she raced her heart out, and it shows. And the BMWs are just really incredible bikes.
Right.
So she has a great team. And, she's keeping the dream alive. And we all, us women, we want the dream alive. The
All right.
success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to our success.
That's right.
If you love what
Amen.
you're doing, you will be successful. And end of story. Okay, well, not ours, but.
No, I completely agree. And you mentioned you've raced, the Harleys, the BMWs. You've also done a little bit of drag racing. Do you ever think you're going to go back and do that, or do you think you just want to stick with land speed racing?
Well, in my garage, I got a really fast motorbike, and it's an NHRA Pro Stock motorcycle. You know, I've had setbacks in my career. I wanted to get back into the drag racing. I went back and I seeked out George Bryce and Jackie out of Georgia, and I had trouble reacquainting myself with that bike. I know what my problem was. Is the problem was I wasn't working out faithfully, and I didn't have the muscles, and I didn't have that structural, like I just wasn't, I wasn't 100% there. And when you ride a bike like that, it's either you're pregnant or you're not. You're full throttle or you're not, and give it up or do something different. But I come to realize that like that bike's just not for me right now in my life.
That's okay.
And I really have to concentrate. And I told my husband, and we bought this bike, and we were doing, we were going to his shop, and I was flying to Georgia here and there, and just trying to get acclimated to get that G-force. When you leave the starting line, these NHRA riders are going out the door with a full throttle and 3.5 G-force. Like they are crossing like a 60 foot, like 106 seconds. Like, come on, that is some talent. So, I told my husband the opportunity came up with a streamliner, and I told my husband, can we just put the Pro Shop motorcycle, since I'm not doing very well at it? Can we just concentrate, and can I be in the record books with the streamliner? Because to me, I feel that was meant for me. And that's where my career needed to go. And I want to be in the record books. I go NHRA racing. I'm not going to go in the record books. I got to be like Angel. I got to have a lot of money, or she, like I'm not saying she, like, you just have to have a lot of money, and you have to have a team. Like the team is what's going to win you races. And she did that. And she is a 3-time champ in that division of the Pro Stock motorcycle category. And, I got a lot of catching up to do. I want to retire. I want to learn what my next goal is. I want to be the queen of something. I don't know what it will be, but it might be the queen of traveling.
Hey, you're already doing a lot of that. So, I mean, why not put on the crown?
She's broken 8 records.
She's also got something else she recently had inducted into. Tell us about that.
Well, that just gave me chills, because I was going to mention that. I was inducted into the Sturgis Hall of Fame by one of my first sponsors, Jesse Jurens from Legend Air Ride Suspension. And he inducted me into the Hall of Fame. They accepted my induction. They called me, and like, OMG, that was, like really, like, I could get emotional, but
tell me about it.
Confidence, and that like,
That's
I
huge.
worked so hard. I've got beat up so many times. I've gotten, like, our competitors are not the nicest people out there. And I have to say, it's not a perfect world out there, and I know that. And it's like, I'm not looking for a perfect world. I'm just looking for my perfect bubble to be in. And that means eliminate A and B and equals Z. But
Valerie, that's huge. Tell me about what it was like. I mean, what were you doing when you got the call? What did it feel like, and what did you do after the call?
I put him on mute, and I ran all the way to my husband's office, and I screamed, and he goes, "What's wrong?" And I had the guy on mute, and then it was like one of those movies, like, "Whoa, I'll have what she's having," and then you go back into normal. Like, of course I accept this honor.
Yeah.
No, let me think about it okay, yes.
Let me get right back to you.
Is it still correct? Are you the only female in the Sturgis Hall of Fame? Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I thought I read that somewhere. I was just want to make sure that's correct.
I'm in the Sturgis Hall of Fame with some really incredible ladies. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to be in any different position. Like, I'm just not with ladies. I'm with incredible men. That is they're not all into racing. It's just, people that are making an influence into the world of two-wheel thunder.
Wow. I mean, that's something that so many people aspire to have. So many people aspire to have. I want to be setting records. I want to break records. I want to have great teams. You think about it, you only started when you were in your 30s. For these people that are listening that are teenagers or 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s,
Yeah.
What piece of advice could you give them? Because, I mean, come on, Valerie. You've been modest. You've been great. But, girl, you the queen. What advice would you
Will you
give?
stop giving me chills?
Well, I mean,
Oh my
what's
God,
about
she's
giving?
the
She's
goat of land
earned them.
speed racing. She's
Okay,
the goat of land speed racing.
She's the goat.
I am
Yes.
living the dream because
She's got another nickname, by the way. You're the
Okay,
goat.
We're gonna call
Okay.
you the goat. It's the greatest of all time.
That's what it stands for, greatest of all time. It was coined by LL Cool J. Thank you very much.
Thank you, LL Cool J.
But, I mean, what advice could you give someone? Because, I mean, look at where you come from. Look at what you've accomplished. And we're going to talk here in a few minutes about the whole sponsorship thing. I got something for that. But
Yes.
tell me, what would you tell someone who said, hey, Valerie, help me out?
Be smart, be successful, and be spectacular. You're living a dream because you took a chance. You worked hard to get where you're at. You're never too old to set a goal, a dream, and a new dream. Like I have a new dream. I don't know where that new dream will be, what it will be, but I'm going to live my dream right now, and then I'm going to make a new dream when I'm ready.
Never too old to stop dreaming, right? That's what I need.
You're
to
never
know.
too old. You're never too old
I
to
always tell
even
myself
start
I'm too old,
racing.
Chris. I always tell myself I'm too old.
Ellen's like maybe 28.
Oh yeah, you wish. Well,
I'm-
like 40.
I'm sitting over here, way north of 40. And, it's funny whenever people see us in public, they're like, oh, what does your daughter do?
Yeah. Okay. I don't look
I'm
that
sure
young.
my-
He just wishes.
I'm sure my dad's been asked that. Well, what does your daughter do? Well, she races a
Does your husband ever
motorcycle.
get that? Does he ever get
Oh,
that? Oh,
no,
hey,
they
what's your
always
daughter?
think he's the racer and me just the backup lady. I'm like I was
No,
on the
that's common
airplane
race.
and we went to London and we had this
If it's a what,
airline
it's
stewardess and he goes, oh, you race motorcycles, because he recognized some of the names that were on my we have matching backpacks, and it has all
Cool.
my my racer pass sponsors on my backpack, like they're are sewn into my backpack.
very
And
cool.
he goes, oh, and my husband said, no, actually my wife, she's a motorbike queen, she's the land speed record holder in NN. And he looked at me and he's like, nah, yep.
No, I beg your pardon, sir, but that's very nice of you. But what is it that you do?
So I was trying to be modest and yeah,
She is
going
modest. She's
along
so
with the
humble.
story. And then later he comes up to me and, he was talking to me and he says, I would tell him about our streamliner and where we go, where do you do that at? And I really reassured him that, yes, I am the racer in the family and my husband is a smart one in the family and I'm not so smart. So
Oh, you are.
They-
smart,
I'd
too.
battle
Give
that one.
yourself some credit.
Yeah,
now.
I'd battle that
How
one.
do you get land speed records if you're not smart? Come
And
on
if
now.
anybody should
No.
recognize royalty, it's the friggin' British.
That's
come
right.
on.
Exactly.
Well, I am smart because you have to
Sure.
have some smartness in order to do what we do. And you have to be special too. So I am special and smart.
Well, special
so-
like you, not special like us.
You
know,
Yeah, we're on the short bus.
Yeah, I mean,
a
Ellen and I are the
special-
type
We're on the short bus.
we have to wear helmets when we're in public. So I mean, it's kind of bad.
There's a special fearness that you have to have. You have to have that no fear game. You have to just okay, this is what I have to do. This is what I'm going to do. And this is what I'm going to conquer. Okay. But anyway, anyways, my guy, he comes up to me later halfway into our flight and he hands me a book and he says Guy Martin and it says Worms to Catch. That's his book. And
Right.
he goes, I read this book and I recognized your name and I went back to it. And on page such and such, you're mentioned in his book. And I said, and he gives me the book and he goes, here, read, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so he came back and he said, what I think about it. I said, OMG, really?
You knew this though, right? I mean, you knew you were in his book.
Guy
right?
Martin is Danica Patrick here in the United States.
Yeah,
Guy
yeah.
Martin in Europe is oh gosh, he's way up on a pedestal, just a lot of other racers are here.
And Cliff Richard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was honored to be in his book. And it was wow. And I said, here you go. And he actually gave me the book back. And he said, no, you keep it. I can pick
Oh.
up a new book anytime I want because,
That's
you know, they sell it here in London or, you know, in Europe. And I was like, oh my
Wow.
gosh. I was like, can you autograph that for me?
That's awesome.
That is recognition of royalty right
Yeah,
there.
no kidding. I mean,
Because-
she's raced everywhere, and she's known. She's not just known in the U.S., where a lot of these drivers are just known in the U.S. You can't go to London
London.
and they know exactly who Danica Patrick is. They might have heard her name, but they don't really know who she
Well,
is.
they saw the GoDaddy commercials. But
well, that.
but I
That's
mean,
it.
you knew that
Famous
you were
by
in
GoDaddy.
Guy's book at this point, right?
No, I never knew I was in his book. I had no idea
That's
I was
awesome
in there
to find out.
until
You're
I
sitting there
actually
waiting to find
read
out
it.
you're in somebody's book house. Is that?
Let me tell you what, that's
I'm
better
gonna
than
find out
finding
in
a
somebody's,
20.
like, diary.
I mean, that's better than finding a 20 in your jeans when you do laundry.
That's right.
That is so
I-
awesome. Valerie, come on, man. You're being way too modest.
Oh, come on. I'm not being modest. I'm spilling my beans. I mean, he's got worms to catch and I'm spilling my beans.
That's amazing. Like, the only book I'm going to be called in is somebody's diary, and I'm scared what it's going to say.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to know.
Chris
Hey,
has a
just
few
don't worry.
diaries out there.
Yeah,
I
that's
won't
my
tell
problem.
anybody what you said.
Yeah. So, all right. So
Okay.
we mentioned what you would say to people who are coming up inside the industry. One of the things, and you did such a great job when you mentioned a bike doesn't know if it's a man or a woman
I love that.
who's riding it. I love that. But I don't think the women in this industry, motorsports in general, get the credit or recognition that they deserve. What would you tell the young, up-and-coming female racers that would be different than what you would tell somebody else?
Oh, boy. You know,
I'm impressed.
I'm tongue-tied. I mean, you know.
Now,
you've
that's
given all-
impossible for a woman, Valerie.
I am tongue-tied. Like,
I've married a few women. I understand this is impossible.
your biggest, you know, I don't know. Like, I do know, but
You do. Go ahead. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Whatever you say, we won't be offended.
Look, you're in the cone of silence, Chief. We got you.
you know, I'm gonna say fashion is always in fashion.
I love it. Put that on a T-shirt and sell it. There's your sponsorship. Good grief.
You know,
But no, I mean, think about all the things that you've done, all the things you've accomplished, the trials and tribulations that you've been through. And if you saw someone who had the hunger in their eyes that you had, who was coming up, what would you tell them?
gosh, just never give up. I mean, I wish I had somebody to coach me from day one to tell me this, that, the other. But then again, I take that back because you got to find your own knack. You got to be like, I mean, there's just like you got to know whether or not you're in or you're out. Like you got to know if you really like it. And it takes time. You don't rush into something you just can't rush into things when you got to stay focused. You never give up and you build up your confidence and you shift gears one gear at a time. I put on a sock, one sock at a time. I put my shoes on one shoe at a time. You build up that confidence and you go out there and you don't give up. And if you know that this is what you really want to do, look up to the people that are doing it and look up to them and see what they're doing and maybe reach out to them to give, some special advice. And when you write to somebody and want to know, how did you do it? You don't write back. Can I call you on the telephone? Can I give you my words of wisdom through the phone? Stop writing, stop texting, pick up the phone and call. And, that's how I feel that I have helped so many people throughout my career because, hey, I'm doing something I love. And if I can help you and if I can help one person at a time, like I change gears one gear at a time. And granted, I only have 4, but yeah, I'm going really fast in first gear at 200 miles per hour. So, okay. I mean, pick up the phone. Let's talk. And,
So what you're saying is I can call you.
Absolutely.
Don't
My
tell
phone
Chris
number
that. He won't
is.
be calling you. Unfortunately, he saw it on my phone. So
That's what
if he starts
enjoy.
calling you and stalking you, I apologize. Just hang up.
Take this
encourage,
the right way. I like
but
fast women.
Oh God.
but I encourage
I'm sorry,
people
Valerie.
I encourage people to reach out to people and
Yes,
to ask
absolutely.
questions. But I can't describe in an email because it's hard to write to people, and you have to be politically correct. You have to cross your
Oh God,
eyes.
these days.
You
Oh
cross
yeah.
your eyes and
Yeah.
cross your T's.
Yep.
Or dot
Cross
your
your eyes
T's.
and your
Okay, that's
T's.
completely backwards, but I really mean cross your T's
No,
and dot your I's.
You're
I said that
absolutely
as a
right.
joke.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
mean,
you have to be careful because then they take you out of context, and then it's
Yeah.
like
yep.
they're they got judgy eyes and they
You
got
cannot-
judgy ears.
Judgy.
Yes,
Everybody's
you cannot
judgy
convey
these days.
emotion via text.
Yeah,
And
you cannot convey nothing by a text, nothing by an email. Pick up the phone and see if you can get a hold of these people, or if they would entertain a phone conversation with the right mentor. You got to be a mentor to them. I've got guys that text me and tell me what's going on. One guy, a buddy, I don't even know him. I mean, like, I know him just by talking by a text and on the telephone. He got in a crash with his BMW. I feel bad for him. And his life is like, oh, I put everything into my motorbike and everything into this racing, and I crashed and somebody hit me and I'm in the hospital. I'm like,
It's gonna happen.
those
It
are the
might-
kind of people that, like, okay, he won't give up. He'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure of it. But that's a kind of like, don't give up. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
You know what? I've given up in my career, and I will have to say I have. And it's happened to me. But, I somehow I found some strength and some liquid courage.
Hell yeah.
And I
That's what I'm
said,
talking about.
I need the confidence is going, the confidence and shifting my gears. I have
Wait a
a
minute.
rebirth going on right now.
wait a minute.
Girl.
You said
Go, girl.
okay. So you had given up on racing.
Yes, quite a few times.
She had to give up on drag racing at one point.
I
Decided
did.
something was what she wanted to do, which is fine. I mean, if you don't want to
And-
do it, don't.
And then can I just say that I was bullied by another competitor
Sorry,
team. I was bullied, and it brought me
Hear about
down
that a
so hard. And he bullied me, and for years I didn't know who this guy was. And when I found out, let me tell you, that energy just put me back on the map.
You know what? The people with the biggest insecurities are the ones that are the biggest bullies.
Yeah.
And
I never say this out loud because I don't like to talk about, oh, poor Valerie, I went through this, I went through that. But you know what? When somebody can, and I see all this news about kids being bullied, but when do you ever talk about adults in a career being bullied?
That's right.
Nobody
It
talks
happens
about it.
all the time.
it happens
Nobody
in every
talks about
industry.
it. Okay.
Yep, every
We
industry.
got our Henry Weinstein in the movie business, and he's
Yep.
doing NNN. Okay,
Yeah.
well, they're now coming out with it. Well, what about us racers when
Yeah.
we get bullied by our competition, or they're not even in my competition? They just wanted to bully me
Yeah.
because they just wanted that.
Yeah.
They wanted to bring me down and lose my confidence and lose
Insecurity.
Because
my
they're scared
momentum.
of you. They're
Yeah.
afraid of you. They're afraid of
But-
what you can do.
She's broke 8
it's-
records. Obviously, they're scared of her.
Oh, exactly.
I know, but like, okay, records is just a number, but gosh
Still.
darn it. It's-
Okay, no,
it's-
time out,
It's a
time out.
number.
No, time out, time out, Queen. The court has
I'm
an
sorry.
order. It is more than just a number when it's a record, because it's
That's
something
right.
that you have fought for and accomplished and broken
That nobody
I
can
know.
take away
that
from you.
nobody can take away from
No.
you. You haven't done it just once, twice, 3, like LeBron James, 4, 5. You've done it 8
Exactly.
times.
Hey, I know how you feel, Valerie. My favorite football team gets bullied all the time.
Oh dear.
And Chris is one of the lead culprits.
Her favorite football team is the New England Patriots,
Oh.
which
see,
means
he's bullying me.
she's pulling for the bully who bullied you.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Who
I
also
am not
cheats
pulling for the bully.
And uses illegal fluids
Whatever.
in their
Whatever.
machines.
Whatever.
So, I mean, Valerie, this is, I got to tell you, your story not only the accomplishments,
Yes.
but where you've come from is so amazing.
Yeah.
You really do need to be a spokesperson for numerous things.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned sponsorships. What are you doing currently? What do you need? How, if somebody wanted to sponsor you, do they get a hold of you?
Well, they get a hold of Valerie, or they get a hold of you to get a hold of me.
That's right.
Somebody's
They
got
can get
my
a hold of
number
us. That's
floating
fine.
out there.
Let's talk
got it.
percentages. Let's talk percent because I'm a great agent, Valerie.
Oh my God.
Well,
this is nice.
our sponsorship is, we need money and funding to go testing, to go back to Australia, and just to take a crew of 16, 18, crew members, and to get the bare essentials to go and race, like the motorhomes, the food, and the water. Like, it all adds up. And
Oh, yeah.
we just need help putting this motorbike back together, like more than we needed beforehand. Like, I don't want to throw out dollar figures, but it's not a lot of money going out there. We're not talking $1 million to go back out there and go race.
Sure. Yeah.
Anything under $500,000 would be just great. But
Yeah. I mean,
not
don't
even
be
that,
modest. Don't be modest. It's one of those
not
things
even
where
under half. It's like, if we got $150,000, man, that'll make or break the difference, and it will put our team back on track, and it gives them the courage, and the courage, not just the courage, but it gives them the confidence of, like, they need to get paid because they're doing it on their spare time, and they're doing it because they love this sport and they want this record so bad that I don't feel it's right for them to work for nothing. I want them to get paid.
Yeah.
I don't get a paycheck. I get paychecks when I do appearances. And, I just did a wonderful appearance last week, and that really changed my whole perspective in a lot of different things. And I just can't wait to entertain, some new thoughts and some new knowledge that I had with the PSTD, that I have some symptoms of. I'm scared of it, but I got to learn about it because, my mom passed away. I was racing, and, I'm like, all of a sudden it happened within 20 days of each other. That's just a hard pill to swallow. And it happened that motorbike, I wrecked at least $1 million motorbike. That motorbike is in shambles. We saved the motor, we saved a lot of parts,
But
the
still.
outer part is what we have. We have to put back together the mold, the frame. We got to put that back together, and that's like airline Monaco with honeycomb and NNN stuff packed together. That bike saved my life, going 363 miles per hour. I know it says 343 miles per hour that I crashed in, but we didn't have the motorbike back in our hands, and we didn't see the data until they really explored to see really what happened to this bike. They could tell I was going straight. They could tell that I wasn't making any radical movements. And what really is the bottom line is it was windy, and I hit a gust of wind, and it turned me up in the air, and I was like a fish.
Well, it wasn't like you were going fast or anything.
I know.
Dear God.
Jeez.
Valerie,
I said, fashion is always in fashion, and when I was going up in the air and upside down, I was fashionable.
Oh,
I
bet you
wasn't
were.
wearing high heel shoes by any means, but
Hey, you
mean,
looked awesome doing it. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Ellen's right.
She looked awesome doing it.
You looked
That's
awesome
all that
doing
matters.
it. All I hear is just spokesperson.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, the fact that she's not willing to let PTSD stop her.
Yeah.
And I've known people that have gone through PTSD. I have a girlfriend that's going through PTSD from a car accident. Not going. She wasn't even moving. She was hit from the rear end and then hit and going into oncoming traffic. I cannot talk.
yeah.
I'm terrible at talking, as you can tell. And shut up, Chris. He's a bully. I'm just gonna put it out there. He's a bully.
I'm not a bully. I just
too.
point out other people's shortcomings. That's all I do.
And Ellen can't talk, so he picks on me all the time. No, but the fact that you can overcome that, and you will overcome that,
Yeah.
to continue to go after records. You don't care what the age is. You don't care what condition you've been in the past. You're willing to overcome that.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest story.
So Valerie, how do people get a hold of you with sponsorship inquiries? Because the story is amazing. The accomplishments are even more amazing. The future, I think, is really where amazing is going to go through the ceiling.
Well, they can contact me at ValerieThompsonRacing.com, which is my email. And through my social media, I've been off the grid of social media, but I understand why I have been. And I apologize to all my friends and fans that I've been off the grid. But I'm kind of going through something that I need to kind of learn about. And, I need to connect with others and that have the same similar thing, because crashing that motorcycle has been like I didn't realize I haven't grieved my mom yet, and I haven't grieved the pain of the motorbike yet. And I have to tell you, I wish I could talk, and I wish my doors were open to talk to other people like Rocky Robinson. I thought maybe he would have reached back out to me and said, "Hey, how are you feeling? Are you okay?" But I didn't. I didn't hear from him, and he's crashed before. He's picked up the pieces, and they've gone down the track, and they've done it all over again. But though he's like my mentors, I look up to him. And Guy Martin, he's my other competition. We're racing for the same record. We all want to go 400 miles per hour, but first and foremost, we all want to just break the record.
Yeah.
And whatever comes out afterwards, if it's a 401 or a 400.999, we'll take it, and we'll take it to the bank.
Absolutely.
But, riding my motorcycle is just the ultimate freedom. It's a self-expression, and riding motorcycles create a true inspirational beauty. I've been told I have the pregnant glow. Well, you know why I have pregnant glow? It's because I ride two wheels, and it makes me glow from here to there. My passion for speed is something very few people ever experience in their lifetime. And these guys are experiencing speed in their lifetime. I want to help people connect with their passion. It just might not be riding a motorbike or racing. I want to help them connect with what they have in their mind or what they want to do. I can do that. And if I can change and help one person at any time, I would love to.
And you know what? I think doing that will also help you with what you're going through.
Yes.
Because, I mean, I hear that outreach. You want Guy to call you. You want Rocky to call you. And I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
But one thing I've found out, the difference between men and women, especially when it comes to competitive anything, throw in racing, we aren't good, we being men, aren't good at handling not only our emotions, but others' emotions as well.
No.
We bottle it up.
Guys bottle everything up.
We don't know how to communicate it.
Nope.
And when we see somebody else hurting, we want to help. We don't know how,
Exactly.
unless somebody gives us the marching orders to be able to do so.
Exactly. And that's our job. No.
Yeah, and that's really, you're right.
Yeah,
that's actually that's really your job. So, Valerie, I hope people will go follow you on social media. ValerieThompson.com, Valerie Thompson Racing on social media. Such a powerful story, such an inspiration. Man, I can't wait to see what you do next.
That's right. I'm so excited.
I can't wait either.
Hey.
That's why I want the summer to come, and then the fall to come, and then you know what?
2020,
That's
Australia.
Right. That's right.
Watch out,
2020,
clock spiders. Here we come.
That's
right.
right.
Look what you've done in 3 years already. I can't wait to see what she does in 3 more years.
I will watch you from a distance, because no way this east side of hell you getting me to Australia.
Well, let me tell you, when they say you're going to the Outback, you're going. Like,
you know, everything will kill you there. Everything.
That's all
They have koalas. Where else do you get koalas? Look at them.
People.
They look like angry little men. Fuzzy heads.
Well, just going to say and end your note, and our mission is going to continue for another year and work it right into 2020. And I will never give up on our goal to make new history. And we really want to be that person to break the record first and foremost, because we won't get greedy. And if we go 399 miles per hour, I will be mad. But if we go 400 miles per hour, I will be one lucky girl.
Yes,
You'll be
ma'am.
happy. Awesome. And it's going to happen. Just
Yes, it
claim
is.
It's
Yeah,
going to happen.
I got $5 on Valerie winning.
Hey, I
Five
got
Valerie
dollars.
Thompson.
He's
Well, I'll
cheap. I
contribute. I'll man up and go 20.
Hey, I got you on 50,
Oh,
girl.
Look, I got
You will do
3
it.
divorces I'm paying for. That $5 is like a kid's college fund to me. Valerie, thank you so much for joining us. We look so forward to catching up with you again. Let's not make it 3 years.
Yes.
We want to talk to you before you go to Australia. Once again, it's Valerie Thompson Racing and ValerieThompson.com. And Valerie, thank you so much for spending time with us here on Behind the Wheel. We just can't wait to talk to you again.
Oh, thank you so much. It was a great interview and a fun time. And thank you for giving me some energy I can sleep on tonight. It's peaceful energy.
That's a good thing.
got it.
Loves chatting with you guys. And thank you so much for
You too, sweetie.
Hey, it's
taking
our
your
honor.
time.
We will talk to you soon, Valerie. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
See, I told you. I mean, we go from one land speed, crazy, awesome female to another. And heck, we've already talked to Valerie before. Well, I've talked to Valerie in the past.
Yeah,
You weren't
yeah.
exactly there, were you?
Once again, BC before Chris.
Yeah.
What a inspirational story.
Yeah.
And you talk about modest.
I mean, you keep trying to get her to pump herself up. She still don't do it.
She needs to. She
I know,
is.
but you know what? I love the fact that she's humble because I think a lot of the most successful people out there are humble. And I think that, you know, if we have more of those humble people, Chris is trying to move my chair, y'all.
Just get you closer to the microphone. I can't hear you.
I don't know what he's doing.
Because it's good stuff. That's good stuff. No, I mean, she is so humble and she's
Yeah.
so good and she's broken so many records. I get it. I absolutely get, yes, respect where you come from. But holy crap, man, you've been called the queen of racing.
The queen of speed. Not quite the
Queen
queen
of
of
speed,
racing,
excuse
but
me, the
she's
queen of
getting
speed.
to the queen of racing.
Right,
That will
the queen
happen.
of speed.
Yes.
I mean, how do you not take advantage of that? And how does she not have sponsors?
Yeah, well, money is short everywhere we go nowadays. But yeah, I agree. So the gentleman that just won the Mega Millions in South Carolina, why don't you give Valerie a call? You got plenty of money.
You know, what was it, 600 some odd million? Is what
No,
he got?
that's tonight. The
No,
Mega
I thought
Millions
the
was-
Mega Millions guy got like 600 million.
No, well, yeah, probably after taxes. I think it was a little bit more. Wasn't it 875 after taxes?
Still,
Something like that.
I'd take it.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna hurt. I bought my Powerballs. I see you eyeballing my Powerballs.
I bet. Yes, because I didn't win anything on the Mega Millions. So
I'm that person that buys the lottery tickets and doesn't check them after it's pulled.
I did. I checked first thing this morning, but I
Is
knew I
that-
wasn't going to win.
That's got to be a condition, right?
Yeah, you need to check it. You do.
I mean, oh
I mean,
my
if you've
God.
got a winning lottery ticket laying around this house, I need to know about it. And I need to have
I
it.
might. I found a stash of them about 2 inches thick that were old, but
my
apparently
God.
you only have 6 months.
Yeah, you do.
So I don't know. Anyway, I give Valerie Thompson 6 months before she's back in the news
That's
again.
right. That's right.
She said 2020 they're going to go back to Australia to try to break this record. I do. I got $5 if she breaks it, man.
I got more than that. So
Well, of course you got more than that.
actually, I don't have more. A lot
With your
more money than
Patriots
that.
hoodie.
Why does he think I'm getting the money for the Patriots or something? I mean, what is
You
this?
must be. Somebody's got to be paying to support them
Whatever.
cheaters.
Whatever.
Let me tell you what.
Somebody
Ellen-
calls in last Sunday's game, I'm gonna say, sorry, I think your team's cheating more than mine is. So,
Oh,
in fact, the
God.
referees called you guys out on it twice.
They did not. They didn't know such
yes,
thing.
they did.
I mean, come on. Bill Belichick looks like a Sharky.
Oh,
I don't
whatever.
even want to hear it. I want to thank Valerie Thompson for
Yes,
spending
thank you,
time
Valerie.
with us. Valerie, you're absolutely amazing. We can't wait to see what you do next.
Yes.
It's not going to be 3 years before we talk to her again.
No, I'm gonna do my best to get in touch with her a lot sooner than that this time.
And once again, tip of the hat to Lily because she brought in a great guest here for Behind the Wheel. I know I bring the looks and the talent.
Okay.
You,
In his dreams, I'm just saying.
that's right. In my dreams, I literally look like I ran a 100-yard dash in a 90-yard gym. It's horrible. Bless your heart for having to work with us. We are excited about what's coming up. Tell me a little bit about some of the things that are on the docket race-wise now that we're in fall.
Yes, I mean, racing season, as everybody knows, is coming to a close. But hey, we never stop. Racing Junk just keeps going. So don't give up. We're still going to be out there. Of course, NHRA is wrapping up. We're coming to the countdown to the championship, so we're on our toes for that. We've also got SEMA coming up, so obviously it's not racing, but hey, it's automotive. It's gearheads out there. It's gearheads.
There's going to be a ton
mania.
of gearheads there.
Yeah, and we're going to do our best to talk to the Battle of the Builders winner again this year. God knows I can't talk.
And we may be coming to you live from
a big event
one
coming
of the big
up.
events.
Yes,
So,
from a big championship event that's coming up, but we're not going to let you know what that is yet.
yeah, you just got to keep paying attention. Follow us on social media. Obviously, check out the podcast. Thank you, by the way, for everyone who's been downloading the podcast. I want to thank iTunes for putting us up. Ellen's done great work. Racing Junk has done phenomenal work putting us up here. We look forward to seeing you next time on Behind the Wheel on RacingJunk.com. For the Queen of Speed, Valerie Thompson, for Little E, I am Tater, Chris Young. We're taking suggestions for nicknames. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on Behind the Wheel on RacingJunk.com.